Next on the news, 2 Catholic school students are being hailed as heroes for their quick work helping a woman in need.
When in doubt, do the right thing. That's what 2 8th graders here at St. Gregory the Great in Belrose said was going through their heads when they had to act fast under pressure. Now they're being called heroes. I'm Jessica Easthope. That story is coming up.
It's been 2 weeks since the Pope kicked off the Jubilee by opening the Holy Door at St. Peter's Basilica. Now we have an update on how many pilgrims have crossed the threshold. Plus, the public says goodbye to President Jimmy Carter before the remains of the devout man of faith make its way to the nation's capital. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. 2 Catholic school heroes were honored at St. Gregory the Great Catholic Academy on Tuesday. 8th graders Christian Fiorillo and Colin Wynn jumped into action to help a woman who was badly hurt in a fall. Currents News' Jessica Easthope tells us more from Belrose.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Janet Miranda thanks God she's alive. But second, she's thanking her heroes.
You guys are so brave.
Christian Fiorillo and Colin Wynn, 8th graders at St. Gregory the Great in Belrose. Back on October 29th, the boys were walking behind Janet when she tripped and fell face first onto the sidewalk. She broke her nose in several places, tore her shoulder, and hurt her knee.
The sidewalk was raised maybe an inch, but I was bleeding profusely. And I didn't see any people around on the street, which is kind of terrifying. And out of nowhere, these 2 kids come up behind me, and they just took over.
Christian and Colin swiftly called 911 and Janet's daughter and raced around the street to this deli to get napkins to help stop the bleeding.
Instinct kicked in and we were going to help.
And they stayed with me the whole time. They really were amazing.
I'm sure everyone here is very proud of these 2 young men.
On Tuesday, the 2 students were given a New York State Assembly citation for their bravery and kindness.
It feels nice, but it feels more nice knowing that we did the right thing.
After her fall, Janet, who sent her daughter and granddaughters to St. Gregory the Great, sent Principal Joseph Panicia an email.
From what we hear in the area, 2 boys, okay, what happened? And it was this lovely email.
In a Catholic school, they are not only learning the basics, they're learning a moral code.
I put the skills that I've gained from being here and I took it into real life situation. Do the right thing, even if you don't know how.
Janet is hoping with some more physical therapy, she'll be as good as new. As for her heroes, Christian and Colin, they say what matters most is she's okay. But they might frame their new citations anyway. In Belrose, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
What good kids. The Jubilee Year has just gotten underway in Rome, and already more than 500,000 pilgrims have visited the Vatican. According to the Holy See, some 545,000 people have traveled through the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica since it opened 2 weeks ago. The city estimates more than 30 million people will visit Rome for the Jubilee. Bishop Robert Brennan is encouraging everyone to become pilgrims of hope during the Jubilee. In the latest episode of his podcast, Big City Catholics, Bishop Brennan talks about how going out and encountering Jesus in this way is central to living the Catholic faith.
This isn't true simply for a pilgrimage or a holy year. More importantly, it's the very mission of the Church. We speak, along with Pope Francis, of the Church on the move. La Iglesia in salida. The Church is not a museum, but a living reality. We are a communion of communions, or as I like to say, a family of families. Parish is a family of families. Diocese, a family of parishes. The Universal Church, a family of dioceses, of parishes, of families.
According to the company Peter's Way Tours, more than 100 pilgrims from the Diocese of Brooklyn are planning to visit Rome during the Jubilee. One of the biggest groups will be a contingent of 85 young people going in July. You can listen to Bishop Brennan's full message on his podcast, Big City Catholics, at podcast.dioceseofbrooklyn.org or search for Big City Catholics on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. New York's Cardinal Dolan will soon be traveling to the nation's capital, where he'll lead the opening prayer for President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Cardinal Dolan also led the prayer for Trump's 2017 inauguration, reading King Solomon's prayer from the Book of Wisdom. In the past, Cardinal Dolan has said he's discussed matters of faith with Trump, who is a non-denominational Christian. His Eminence saying the president-elect takes his Christian faith seriously. President Joe Biden, meantime, was in New Orleans on Monday, attending a vigil for the 14 people killed in that New Year's Day attack. The service, organized by the Archdiocese of New Orleans, was held to help the community heal as the FBI continues its investigation. Currents News' Jenna McDermott has more on the prayers for New Orleans.
President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden attended an interfaith prayer service for peace and healing hosted by the Archdiocese of New Orleans late Monday. The service was held to grieve with the families and community impacted by the egregious truck ramming attack in the French Quarter on January 1st.
You are not alone.
Louisianians believing faith will bring healing.
Families have been affected in ways that will continue to haunt them now and into the future. And I believe only the power of prayer and the faith in God can pull them and us through this time.
During a press conference Sunday, the FBI said the New Orleans attacker used Meta smart glasses to plan out the attack and visited the city twice prior to New Year's, once in October and again in November. This released footage from suspect Shamsuddin Jabbar's Meta smart glasses showing a bike ride down Bourbon Street in late October 2024.
Jabbar was wearing a pair of Meta glasses when he conducted the attack on Bourbon Street, but he did not activate the glasses to live stream his actions that day.
The FBI also shared surveillance video of the suspected attacker placing explosive devices. They say this video shows Jabbar wheeling coolers with IEDs inside down Bourbon Street.
He didn't use the correct device to set it off, and that is just indicative of his inexperience.
Jenna McDermott, Currents News.
The remains of Jimmy Carter are currently lying in state at the nation's capital. But before arriving in Washington, Americans have been saying goodbye to the late president for the past few days. Carter's 6-day state funeral began on Saturday in Georgia. His motorcade passed through the Carter family farm, where the National Park Service Honor Guard rang the famous farm bell 39 times in honor of the 39th president. Carter's body then laid in repose at the Carter Center in Atlanta over the weekend. In the first 24 hours, more than 10,000 came to pay their respects, many coming well into the night. Even if only for a few seconds, the mourners felt it served as a thank you for a life filled with service.
I want everybody to understand that, the grave is only getting the body. His spirit will live on forever, and the legacy that he left behind will live forever.
After his state funeral on Thursday, Carter's body will return to Georgia, where he will be buried next to his wife at the Carter home in Plains. Finally, tonight, kids in the Diocese of Brooklyn have less than 24 hours to submit their work for the tablet's Keep Christ in Christmas art contest. Students from grades 1 through 12 across Brooklyn and Queens have been tasked with putting pencil, crayon, and paintbrush to paper and creating a piece of art that keeps Christ in Christmas in connection with this verse from the Gospel of Matthew. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. There is no restrictions on the size or medium of the piece, but it must be submitted online. So just go to thetablet.org. The art contest page, which includes more on the rules of the contest and how to submit, will be right there on the home page. And good luck. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us, because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.